hard to answer the question what is energy in the technical sense, but most of us understand that we use it at all times in many different forms. Consider your morning routine. You wake up and the first thing you do is turn on a light or the television to watch the news. Then you might cook breakfast, check your email, and take a shower, all before you head to work. All of these tasks require energy, and the sad fact is that the majority of the resources used to produce energy, coal, natural gas, nuclear, and petroleum, are finite. These resources, called fossil fuels, are not going to last much longer. Peak fossil fuel production of fuel other than coal is expected to occur in 2030, while the peak production of coal is expected to occur in 2049. The world population is growing exponentially every day. As population grows, so will our economic demands. Our planet will experience increases in energy demands that is proportional to our economic growth. In fact, it was predicted that market energy would increase by 44% between the years 2006 and 2030. The burning of these fossil fuels is warming the planet, which is disrupting many of the world's natural processes. Anthropogenic climate change has already threatened biodiversity, raised the sea levels, and contributed to more severe storm systems and droughts. And unfortunately, most scientific projections reveal that these issues will only intensify as our reliance on fossil fuels continues at the current rate of energy consumption. There are, however, alternative renewable energy sources that can and should be explored and harnessed. Solar power is just one of them.
My name is Brian Desmond. I'm a solar energy consultant in a residential and small commercial market here in Maryland.
Solar electric systems convert sunlight energy into electricity. These systems consist of solar modules or panels made of many solar cells that contain silicon. When sunlight hits the solar cells, the electrons of the silicon atoms are displaced. As the electrons flow through the cell, electricity is produced. Some studies say that solar energy can supply 1,000 times the global energy requirement.
The reason I think solar power is, I think, our greatest renewable energy is because of three things. It's predictable based on decades of weather study. It's peak energy, and it's distributed energy. So it's peak energy in the form of it's produced at the time of day energy is most in demand at peak hours. So it's a more, in a way, it's a more valuable commodity. It's predictable because we can take decades of weather analysis and very accurately predict how much a solar system is going to generate in a given geographic region. And then distributed in the fact that it's used right at the very source that's consuming the power. So for everyone that says solar power is inefficient, when you compare it to the power plant and getting from point A to B to C to D, it's almost equal as efficient. Renewable energy still remains to be a very small percentage of what we consume, and we need that to increase as eventually fossil fuels being finite will no longer exist generations in the future.
So why hasn't our government and industry made significant strides in transitioning to solar energy?
The thing that's slowing us down the most, I think, is just the economics of renewable energy compared to existing fuel sources. Um, right now, solar energy in particular has pockets across the country where it's um, where it's growing very, very rapidly, but there's other pockets where it's not. The states that have incentives for renewable energy are growing very quickly. The states that don't, that energy source is not growing. I think we need a national energy policy that pushes renewables um, to get the entire country behind renewable energy.
Currently, the cost of electricity that is produced by PV systems exceeds the cost of electricity produced by competing fossil fuels. However, since entering the market, the cost of solar panel systems is continuously decreasing as output efficiencies are increasing.
Yeah, when I talk to people about solar, mainly homeowners, the biggest hurdle is always the cost. It's a costly thing, even though incentives are there. The incentives come post installation, so it's an investment that needs to be made.
Our whole system cost just almost $34,000, and with tax credits, we got back about a little over 14,000. Our part was about $19,000. That's what we have to make back.
42 panels. We produce 6.6 kilowatts of electricity a year.
We are producing just over 50% of our yearly energy, which comes out to just shy of $1,000 a year.
A homeowner in an incentivized market locally can expect a 7 to 10 year payback if they were to own the system.
They were predicting about 7.5, 8 years, but that was based on information they had at the time. We get money back from something called solar rec credits, and they're actually worth less money now than they were initially, so it's going to take us a little longer.
The folks that I talk to, 99% of them, they want to do it for all the right reasons, but it has to remain economic. It has to have a payback of a certain amount of time. And typically within 10 years is absolutely what most people want.
Without the subsidies from the government and the tax breaks, it'd just be too expensive to afford.
We really didn't have the cash. We had to borrow. Fortunately, we got an interest-free loan for 1 year. Without that, we could not have come up with $34,000.
In China, solar panels are sold at a cheaper price, which explains why the price of solar panels has dropped so greatly. State-owned banks and municipalities in China are giving irresistible incentives to Chinese solar panel companies. As a result, China is able to control 23% of the United States solar market and 50% of the world market. In effect, China's lower production costs and efficiency standards have made it extremely hard for American solar companies to compete.
I think foreign competition has really taken over the manufacturing side of solar and renewable energy products.
Because we are living in a period of economic uncertainty and inconsistency, most consumers find it much easier to only evaluate the short-term benefits of their decisions. Although many consumers attest that climate change is a serious issue that both we and future generations face, consumerism and the need for instant gratification has caused a strong reluctance to change social habits. Despite the knowledge that natural resources for energy production are soon to be exhausted, the industry is disinclined to move forward with renewable energies because the initial investment costs are higher than currently subsidized fossil fuels.
Businesses have the ability to claim a federal tax credit. They can depreciate the investment in an accelerated fashion. So in all realistic aspects, in markets where there's local incentives as well, a 3 to 5 year payback is what a company is looking at if they want to invest in solar.
So in order for solar to be integrated, people must be willing to commit time and money into renewable energies such as solar, turning their green ideas into green action.
One is it's environmental. I like to think that we're educating people and doing the right thing for the environment, so I feel good. And how is our electric company powered? Coal. So we're using less coal because we are doing electric through our solar panels, half of it.
The International Energy Agency is confident that if consumers, industry leaders, and politicians work together on reducing price while increasing financing options, then solar energy could account for a third of the world's energy use in the year 2060.
I believe the national energy policy that we need is something that's been discussed in Congress before and hasn't passed, is a national portfolio standard, which is a standard that mandates renewable energy at an increasing percentage each year that it goes forward. So if we can encompass that on a national scale, that would create demand across all 50 states.
The solar industry has proven that the sun can provide us with clean, inexhaustible energy once we've completely depleted our current energy resources. And as the price of solar continues to drop amidst the rising cost of fossil fuels, the next decade is sure to see solar power as a primary, integrated, and cost-effective power source that reduces environmental impacts and increases energy security.
3 years ago, I purchased a solar system for my home. Pretty happy with it. My home isn't perfect for solar, so it's not as productive as it could be, but it's out there.